शिव 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 सर्वेश्वराय शंभो शंभो महादेवाय।
भूलो जावे रे मन तू भूलो जावे रे, तारा सदगुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्या नहीं रे, तारा दिल गुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्या नहीं रे। मन तू भूलो जावे रे मन तू भूलो जावे रे, तारा सदगुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्या नहीं रे, तारा दिल गुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्या नहीं रे। भरी सभा में बक बक बोले जीभ थकावे रे, भरी सभा में बक बक बोले जीभ थकावे रे, संतरी संगत मां झूठा बोले गुरु नल धोवे रे। मन तू भूलो जावे रे मन तू भूलो जावे रे, तारा सदगुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्या नहीं रे। खोटी करनी पाप कमायो बोझ उठायो रे, खोटी करनी पाप कमायो बोझ उठायो रे, बांध गांठड़ी सिर पर धरियो नरक सतायो रे। मन तू भूलो जायो रे मन तू भूलो जायो रे, तारा सदगुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्या नहीं रे। जिया राम रा कहना रे गुरु मना ले रे, जिया राम रा कहना रे गुरु मना ले रे, ऋषि मुनि सब कह गए वेद बतावे रे। मन तू भूलो जायो रे मन तू भूलो जायो रे, तारा सदगुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्यों नहीं रे, तारा दिल गुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्यों नहीं रे, तारा सदगुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्यों नहीं रे, तारा दिल गुरु रे समझावे रस्ते आवे क्यों नहीं रे।
शिव कैलाशों के वासी धौले धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। शिव कैलाशों के वासी, धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। तेरे कैलाशों के अंत न पाया, तेरे कैलाशों के अंत न पाया, अंत अनंत तेरी माया। ओ बोले बाबा अंत अनंत तेरी माया। शंकर संकट हरना, शंकर संकट हरना। शिव कैलाशों के वासी, धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना, शंकर संकट हरना। बेल की पतिया भस्म आर्द थोरा, बेल की पतिया भस्म आर्द थोरा। शिव जी के मन को लुभाए, ओ बोले बाबा शिव जी के मन को लुभाए। शंकर संकट हरना, शंकर संकट हरना। शिव कैलाशों के वासी, धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। Namaskaram. Namaskaram to everyone. Wherever you are, namaskaram to all of you. Wow. It's nice to see so many of you after such a long time. Wow. The laws in the country, both here and in many states, in this country and everywhere else, are being relaxed. They're being relaxed not because we are in any better situation than we were 4 months or 5 months ago. In fact, we are in a worse situation. But a society, a nation and the world cannot go on locked up forever. So they're relaxing this for economic reasons and social reasons. As the laws of the nation and states relax, your personal protocols, your family protocols must become tighter and tighter. It's very important. The most fundamental responsibility in this time is that you stay alive. ensure everybody around you stays alive. This is the most fundamental thing. Well, different generations are thrown different kinds of challenges. If you ask me, this is a very soft challenge for you. It's a soft ball. It's not a hard ball compared to the world wars that people have seen, compared to the horrors that past generations have witnessed and suffered. This is a soft ball, don't crib too much. It's important that we hit this ball right, very, very important. There's a little feedback, if you can manage that, please. Well, in United States, as you know, relentlessly it's going on. Nearly 200,000 deaths. Well, people are thinking that's not too many for 4 months or 5 months. That's because you were not counted among the 200,000. It doesn't look like too many. Maybe nobody, fortunately, someone very close to you, near to you, loved ones have not been counted, so you're thinking it's not too many. Any death, unnecessary death is too many. Well, people have to die, but don't have to die stupid. All of us have to die. But we don't have to die stupid because when I say stupid, well, this is not like a bubonic plague, it's sweeping across and killing everybody. If you behave responsibly, it'll spare you. I've been telling you, got to be responsible for a long time. Now the virus is telling you, if you behave responsibly, you will be spared. If you behave irresponsibly, you will be taken. Hello? In engineering. Yes, that's all it's saying. So, at times like this, it's important that all our sense works for us, not against us. Compulsive behaviors can cost lives, if not yours, somebody else's, unfortunately. Please ensure that nobody dies because of you. And you don't die because of you. Hello? Make sure of this. Well, over nearly 7 million cases in United States, over 1,000 are dying every day. India rapidly catching up, nearly 5 million cases, daily 100,000 extra cases. There may be 5 to 7 times more undetected across the country. Fortunately for India, the mortality rate or the fatality rate is way lower than any other country. You know, we've been eating right. It's playing its role. Particularly in southern India, the fatality rates are way lower than anywhere else on the planet. I said this well before, 5-6 months ago. Looking at the diet of South Indian people, probably they will survive better than anybody else. It's coming true with all the numbers now. Well, many other countries, Brazil, Russia, everybody racing with each other. The question is not where it's happening. It is just that this is a test of what we are made of, how we will behave, how safe we will make it for ourselves and for everybody else around us. Well, it is Mahalaya Amavasya in the next few days. This is a time of the year where close to the autumnal equinox, this is the time of the year when the earth is most feminine, particularly in the northern hemisphere. the feminine quality of the planet is more enhanced. Literally across northern hemisphere, this is the time when water is a dominant element on the planet, except in California, of course. Water is a dominant element, so naturally it represents the feminine. So in this time of the year, the divine feminine is most active and available to people. So a 10-day festivity starts with this new moon, which is on 16th, 17th of this month. And as you know, 22nd, 23rd is the equinox. And as you know, I'm eternally grateful to the equinox in my life. I did not know it was equinox on that day. Much later I realized, many years later I realized it was an equinox day. So, feminine being dominant, Mahalaya Amavasya is also seen as a time when our respects, regards and obeisance be paid to our ancestors. What is the significance of ancestors? They're dead, why should we bother about them? Well, the problem is, who you are right now, in today's world, you constantly being on Google, maybe you think you were delivered by the Google lady. The people that we refer to as your ancestors, they may not necessarily be wandering around, hanging onto the trees, but they're living within you. How much of ancestry stays alive within you? On one level, it enriches your life. On another level, it enslaves your life. We are who we are only because of our forefathers. What they learned, what they knew, their skills, their technologies, their sense of life, we have imbibed all of it knowingly or unknowingly, every one of us. At the same time, if you let them live too strong within you, you won't have a life of your own. Because then, do not underestimate the dead, they will try to live through you. This is why so much care was taken, not in any one culture, across cultures everywhere in the world. Certain things were done when people died, so that they don't try to live through you too strongly. Because if they live through you too strongly, your life is wasted. That is, you will not be a fresh life. You will be sort of a carbon copy of an old life. Unfortunately, many of you have this aspiration that you want to live through your children. No, that's the last thing you should do. Your children should live. You must enrich their life. You are like manure. Hello? Yes, if you are good manure, they will flower. If you smear yourself all over their faces, they will smell and stink like manure. Hello? You must be good manure for your children, rich manure, so that they will flower and they'll have a life of their own. It's very, very important. So every culture always took care to distance themselves from the dead in so many different ways. In India, we developed elaborate methodologies, chose times when we can do maximum in this direction, so that year on year, we create more and more distance. Just because you forgot about your dead grandparents or parents or of your forefathers, that does not mean they're gone. They live through you. The very way you sit and stand you may not understand this in the beginning of your life. When you were 18, 20, you thought you're definitely not going to be like your father or your mother, that's the last thing you want to be. You know, I'm talking about the free spirits. But by the time you're 45, you sit like them, you stand like them, you talk like them, you know. Unknowingly, even your body moves like them. This is because they're living through you. So this is a time of the year which is referred to as the Pitru Paksha. That means this is a time to attend to your ancestors. You may know them, you may not know them. Up to 12 generations of people are usually attended to so that they don't try to live through you. You distance yourself genetically from them so that this life operates and organizes itself as a fresh life, as a new possibility, that it doesn't become a repetition of the past. So this, we are right now at this time on the Mahalaya Amavasya, which is 16th, 17th of this month. In the yoga center, I think anywhere between 20 to 25,000 people will do the necessary processes to distance themselves from their ancestors. They may be dead long time ago. How we handle the dead has substantial relevance to one's life. I've said this before, which now going into research mode in some places, because what you observe with life is no more research. You have to observe the lab rats, whether their ancestral behavior has influence on them. Only if it's true for rats, it's true for you. Rat race, you know. Well, even among them, it's been noticed that one experiment, I think this happened in the Emory University, if I'm right, or I could be off in terms of university, some premier American university for sure. They made this small experiment where a bunch of rats were given nice a cherry blossom smelling cheese. They lapped it up one day. Next day when they came to eat, when they bit into the cheese, they got an electric shock. You know, humans. And again, a few days, they did this, that whenever they bit into this cherry blossom smelling cheese, they got a shock. 7 generations of rats would not go anywhere near cherry blossom smell. They learned their lesson, I'm saying. And these generations did not live together in case they're running a school. They were separated. So wherever they were, for 7 generations, their learning remained. It's only in the 8th generation, it started dissipating. So it is true with rats, it must be true with you. I mean, I'm going by the data. But we know always it's true with you. Both positives and negatives are true with you. Both positives and negatives, if it become very strong influence upon your life, they turn into a negative process. It may be positive, but if it becomes a very strong influence, then it becomes negative because whatever your 7 I'm only going 7, okay? Mahalaya Amavasya we're going to 12, but in case, because you're all covered, I can't make out whether you're Homo sapiens or rodents. Really, we're all looking funny these days So, generations of people that we have lost, probably we do not know them, we don't know their names, we have not even seen their pictures, but they're living through us. So whatever learnings they had 7 or 12 generations ago, if it plays out too strongly, you will become irrelevant to today's life. So you have a fear of cherry blossom, may not mean anything today, but it continues within you. So this complex web of information, which we are today calling as genetic information, karmic information, pranic information, various kinds of things which have built up as a network of information which is functioning in our lives in so many different ways. Some of it has been accessed and researched by scientific modern research. Many, they know it is heading in that direction, but you need funding to come out with results, so it is being postponed. But we know this has influence. Especially societies which don't handle their dead properly. In those societies, the most vulnerable population will be adolescents. From 0 to 8 years of age, children generally have a kind of a protection and an immunity from the ancestors. They be their own thing, but between 8 and 18, the influence of unattended ancestral, for lack of words I'm using, their spirit or their memory plays havoc with adolescents. So a society where adolescents suffer most, it's the best part of your life in many ways, but they suffer most, that society, you must know, has not attended to its dead properly. So this is a time of the year where even if we have not done something in the past, everybody makes an attempt to deal with the ancestral dead so that their influence is limited in our lives. We appreciate who they were, we appreciate their contributions, we have this kind of body, this kind of brain, this kind of learning, this kind of whatever. In all that they have a role, we appreciate that. At the same time, we want them to stand a little away from us so that we can live our own lives. This is important. Otherwise, their influence will be very, very strong. Adolescents and post-pregnancy women are most vulnerable for these forces. It is very important, if there are such people in your homes, you must attend to this. So Mahalaya Amavasya is that day, just 2 or 3 days away, but this is also on this day. We're taking off across United States, looking for a culture which is largely dead, and also the modern America, how it's been built. We're doing a exploring, that is what I think… no, that's not what they put up. You know about this? Okay. So, because American people have been singing that it's blowing in the wind, so I decided we'll ride on a two-wheeler so that we don't miss the wind or what it has to say. So probably we're doing anywhere between 6,000 to 8,000 miles on two wheels in the next 3 to 4 weeks, 3 weeks I hope. Once again, looking at an ancient, largely dead culture, archival right now, not really alive. So this is not to bring back the dead, but to appreciate every kind of human being who's made us who we are right now. At the same time, we becoming who we want to be, not becoming like them. This is important. So, these aspects of old memories, genetic memories, karmic memories playing up. Because of this, there was a very intricate process in India, there used to be, now which is largely lost. Some people are trying to hang on to it, but it's going to be very difficult and it'll be definitely obliterated in the coming probably 25, 50 years' time, is people had a way of tracking their genealogy. Today I know you have some websites or something doing for you, but people had a way of looking at this so that genetics don't mix in an unhealthy way. As a part of this, who you should marry, who you should cohabit with, who you should not touch, where you should be, where you should not be, all these things, as generations and generations happened, thousands of generations, then this was easy to manage when societies were largely agricultural and we know where they lived, they never moved from their land, so we knew. But in modern societies, everybody is moving, nobody knows where they come from. So the boy or girl that you bump into somewhere on the street, you marry them because you don't know where they come from, and the world has changed, people are mobile like never before. That's why the virus is also spreading. Yes? What happens in one little city in China is all over the world because all of us are flying all over the place. If we were just doing agriculture on our lands, it would have been a local phenomena, it would not have been a pandemic. So, it once happened. Shankaran Pillai went to his astrologer. He was an eligible bachelor at one time. I'm telling the ladies. So he went to his astrologer and asked, what kind of girl should I marry? So the astrologer said, see, though initially it looks troublesome, your marriage will be more successful if you marry someone with opposite traits than what you have. Shankaran Pillai said, that I have decided, that is why I have decided that I will marry a rich girl. Opposite traits. I heard there are lots of questions, let me take the questions because there is a limit on how long I can hold this online thing. And you're also getting fried, I think, some of you. You okay? Please.
This first question comes from Katie in Switzerland. Namaskaram Sadhguru. I see you as a great karma yogi. I can clearly see how karma yoga is benefiting the world. However, what is the use of Kriya Yoga to the world beyond individual growth? Isn't it a selfish pursuit? What are the direct benefits of Kriya Yoga to the world?
Oh, why are you declaring what kind of a yogi I am? This is like… You already decided what kind of a yogi I am. This happened. A young starlet in the Hollywood told a successful director, pretty as she was, she said, I love you and I love you and I love you. The director looked at her and said, will you marry me? She said, come on, don't change the subject now. You already decided, so how do I change the subject, I'm wondering. That I am a karma yogi. Now, what you're asking is, suppose Suppose this was an apple tree or a mango tree and full of fruit. You would go to the tree and say, "See, your fruits are fantastic, really useful to me." Usefulness is always about me, all right? But why did you grow so tall? So hard to get, you must have been low, right here, full of fruit, we would have just plucked. We could have gone even without Isaac Newton realizing that it falls down because it would be already down, we could just pluck and eat. Why have you grown so tall? Not understanding, only because he has grown so tall, he bears fruit. So there are two dimensions. One is growth, another is expression. Today, of course, I'm horrified to see parents pushing their children in the front like poster boys or girls and saying, "At the age of 8, my boy has already formed a company. He's a CEO of a company which is worth $500,000. What a horrible thing to do to an 8 or 10-year-old child, that his value is only in dollars. This is the most horrific thing that you can do to your children, you should not do it even to your enemy's children. That at the age of 10, your boy is a CEO doesn't mean anything. Your boy or girl must be just eating well, playing well, sleeping well, growing well. Huh? He or she must grow. Then they will do something worthwhile if they've grown well. In body, mind, emotion, thought, in spirit, in their life energy, they've grown well, they will do something worthwhile as it is needed for that time of the world that they live in. But you're goal-oriented, you want fruit, you don't care about the root. Yes, fruit, not root, is the goal. So this happened, I think I've spoken about this in the past. When I was doing farming, a family of entrepreneurs, they come to me and say, because I had coconut and mango and things in my farm, they said, "We have come up with a new formula, some growth… what do you call that? Growth enhancer. Like, you bought all those hair products, growth enhancer, and you're bald." And I said, "What is so special about this?" They said, "You don't have to do nothing with the root, just the fruit. You spray it on the fruit and the fruit will… I looked at this person and said, "Why don't you spray it on your brain, son?" I know life like this. If the root is enhanced, fruit will come. I'm willing to wait. But you want the fruit to be enhanced without root being enhanced, I know you're going to kill my tree. So, how does one become a karma yogi, first of all? Because one has grown beyond his own needs. His own survival, his own concerns are over, so he's doing something that's useful. Without that happening, if he tries to do things, then he will exhaust himself, he will become a frustrated creature in the world. When you try to do something that you're not ready for, you break one way or the other. So the most important thing is to enhance this life. Kriya Yoga means to enhancing this life in such a way that your own survival, your own psychological, emotional, physical survival is no more a concern to you. Anyway, it will happen. Now you will do something. What will you do? When your joy is not a problem, when your survival is not a problem, when your love is not a problem, when your emotions and thoughts are not a problem to you, what will you do? You will pick up something that's useful and do it, or you will close your eyes and sit. Both are okay. Both are okay. Right now, closing your eyes and sitting without touching anybody is the greatest virtue in the world. All governments are advising, hello? International bodies are advising. For this, you must be in some way, this life should become self-sufficient. Only then. So karma yoga will not come simply because you do hard work. In Tamil, we call this Kalida yoga. Kalida yoga means donkey yoga, hard work. Hard work, hard work. If you do hard work, you don't become karma yogi. Your work is a joyful expression of who you are, then you're a karma yogi. Because karma is not sticking to you, that's why you're a karma yogi. You heap up karma with difficulties, then where is karma yoga? See, karma means… this is a contradictory two words coming together. Karma means bondage. Yoga means liberation. Karma yogi means somebody who uses his bondage as liberation. Somebody who does activity as a means of liberation, not as a means of entanglement. It is only because of what you do, physically, mentally, emotionally, you get entangled with the process of life, isn't it? If you must already know, in the month of February, probably to start with only in United States, we're releasing the karma book. It is a way of looking at karma probably, because I just looked at variety of things that are being said in the world. It is one of the most misunderstood aspects of life, so we thought we should clarify this. So, the book on karma, which is about gaining mastery over your own life, or your own destiny, because how the old information plays in you determines what you think, what you feel, how you act. So without kriya, how will you do karma? If we go back to the same analogy, kriya yoga is about making the tree grow, making the root strong, stem strong, branches and leaves and everything, useless things. So you thought. Then in the season, fruits will come. You thought that is the only useful thing. No. The roots that you don't see are doing much more to the soil and to the land and to the life around it than the fruits that you eat. It actually is. So without kriya, without a human being elevating himself or herself to a certain level of freedom, there is no question of karma yoga. Then wherever you go, you will see only negativity. Wherever you go, you get battered simply because you've not worked upon yourself. Because of this, everything seems to be negative. People, there is a saying in India, anywhere you go, you can either meet God or devil, it's up to you. Whoever you meet, you want to meet the divine in them or the devil in them, this is your choice. Yes, I make sure that I meet the divine in everybody, so everybody is wonderful. But if the same people, if you touch the devil in them, they are quite horrible, are you or not? Hello? So it's your choice whether you meet the divine in people or devil in people. Joshua Goldberg, when he was in school, one day went into the headmaster's room and said, "My friend Robin says my friend Robin says that I should go to the devil. Every day he keeps cursing me like this. Because I'm Jewish, he says I must go to the devil." So the headmaster asks, "What have you done about it?" "Well, sir, I have come straight to you." It's up to you what you want to meet. wherever you go, you can either meet the divine or the devil, because these are polarities with which every aspect of life is living. It's for you to touch the right thing. For this, you must be in a certain way. Only you touch… then you touch the right things. Otherwise, you'll touch all the wrong things. And when you touch wrong things in people, even the dearest ones in your life, oh, how nasty they can become, you have seen, come on. Hello? Wonderful people that you loved and adored, when you touch the wrong things in them, are they divine or devil? They become worse than the devil. So, Kriya is very, very important because you coming to a certain state is important. It's not about what comes to you. You coming to a certain state is what determines the quality of your life. What comes to you need not necessarily determine. Yes, that is also important. But even to draw the right things, you must be in a certain way. That is the first and foremost work that every human being has to do. Please.
This next question comes from Emma in the United States. Namaskaram Sadhguru. I have observed that air conditioning is avoided in many of the buildings at Isha Institute, and natural ventilation is encouraged as much as possible. Is this an effort to be green and cut energy use? Or is there something more to that in terms of what happens in our body? Can you please explain?
Well, this is not my idea. This is how life happened on this planet for a long time. Hello? That you must know when it is summer, when it is autumn, when it is winter, when it is spring, you must know, because every other life knows this. One reason why a simple microbe or a virus is terrorizing you is simply because you've been living like a lab rat in a box with circulated air. Hello? This is one reason. Why rural people are less affected compared to the urban people. One is concentration of population. Another is this, that their immune systems are much weaker in cities simply because a variety of things. One important thing is circulated air, closed indoors all the time, sedentary lives, processed food, many things are there. But one important aspect is circulated air. You come to a place like this, Cumbria. Look at this. Fantastic. Hello? After driving extensively around United States, extensively driving, I decided this is the place. One reason is nature is at its best with a certain amount of balance of heat and cold and everything. This is important for one who wants to do something within themselves for quick results. See, you could go plant this tree in the desert. Maybe you can manage and keep it alive, but will it grow like this? The same goes for you. For your growth to happen in a certain direction, a certain type of weather, a certain type of air, certain type of sunlight, a certain amount of cold, heat, all this is needed for you to grow. So after driving all over the country, I decided somewhere around here is where we should settle, because this has the necessary atmosphere, all heat, cold, dryness and wetness of the seasons, everything is well balanced in this place. Here you come and you want to live in a box. Even when you die, I don't want to give you a box, I want you to go straight into the earth as an eco-friendly material. That's my wish. Hello? Because at least when you're dead, as quickly as possible, This body should become part of the earth. You want to seal it in a box? I don't want you in a box even when you're dead. Even there I want you to breathe and maggot yourself quick. When you're alive, you want to live in a box. I can understand you're living in Manhattan, I have nothing against the place. And if you open your window, it stinks. So you live in circulated air, I can understand that. But here, living in circulated air is a crime. Hello? I'm not talking about an ecological crime, it's a crime against humanity. Your humanity, I'm saying. Because you come all the way to this place and you want to deny yourself what is available here, that will be a complete waste. So, right now, we're in the process of offering things, probably they will send you a mailer or something, I don't know if they're ready with it. But both here and in Isha Yoga Center, there also we chose the place very, very carefully next to the mountains. When I chose that place, there were many reasons, but one thing was definitely the atmosphere and the latitude. It's at 11 degrees latitude, bang on, and that is most conducive for human growth because the earth is mildly tilted in its rotation and it's around 11 degrees and maximum centrifuge force is generated there, so we chose that place. But you know how people live, they would like to kill anything that could be a threat to them. I said, no, we learn to live with them. You won't believe me, on that day, out of the 6 trustees who were there with the Isha Foundation, 4 of them resigned because I've gone nuts. They're wonderful people, they supported us till then. I tried to tell them, right now I'm in disguise, I will come out in a different way in a few years. Then they went into a literary debate of what is a disguise. Then I gave up, I said, okay. But today, Isha Yoga Center is on Incredible India map, one of the most important centers to visit in the country. So similarly, when we chose this place, also there was lots of resistance. Why don't we do it next to Atlanta? Why don't we do it next to Nashville? Why don't we do it near Detroit? All kinds of things came, but we came here because we are not just interested in those who are with us today. Future generations of people who aspire to grow, they must have a conducive atmosphere. We must set the right culture right now because we've given it up in many ways. We are looking at immediate conveniences and giving up long-term well-being for this life. So when you come here, it's important. We'll fix big windows, you open it, it gets chill in the evening, you close it. Do you understand? It gets cold, you wear something warm. It gets hot, take off. Not all the time in bikini you can't walk around because you have circulated air. You must you must recognize nature and respond consciously every time. This is important. This is very important for your physical, psychological and spiritual well-being. This is very, very important. So, we are opening up both the centers, which a lot of debate has been there, should we have large number of people or no. So finally we've decided in India, probably in the next 5 to 6 years, we will have anywhere around 100 to 150,000 people living on the yoga center. Here, because anyway you're working from home, here also we are looking at anywhere between 15 to 25,000 people living here in the next 5 to 6 years' time. So the necessary accommodations and everything coming up. So plan for yourself but you must have warm clothes for winter, light clothes for summer. You can't live in the same clothes without a shower, all that. There's enough water, you can shower every day and open the window, close the window. Above all, I don't want you to stay in the damn construction all the time. You only go and sleep there. Rest of the time you must be out like this. Hello? Dwellings are places for us to sleep. Rest of the time we must be largely out as much as possible, receiving the bounty of sunlight, air, everything else, the energy that is here in terms of nature, in terms of life, in terms of consecrations. You must feel it every moment. You lock yourself up in your room, well, we can put you in the Tennessee State Prison. I'm saying they even open the doors for you there. Food comes on time, you don't have to work unless you get hard labor. These days that's very rare. Most of the prisoners don't have to do any work, they just have to stay fit, eat well. Somebody opens the doors for you, somebody switches off the lights for you, everything will be done, it's convenient. I'm telling you, what is the difference whether you're locked up by somebody or by yourself? What is the difference? It's the same life, isn't it? If you want to grow as a life, it's important all these aspects are there. I want you to understand and appreciate all the people who are here as residents for the last 10, 12 years' time, the amount of work they have done to make this place reasonably hospitable and keep it going. Appreciate that at least. If all you want to do is come here and lock yourself inside, what is the point? Well, in winter you can have a heater, okay? You can have a heater in your bedroom, it's all right. But when you walk out, you wear warm clothes and don't go in a cabin. Hello? Otherwise we can build a cabin for you. Usually this cabin is called a coffin. Yes, but even when you die, you should not ask for a coffin, huh? Instead of cutting down a tree for your coffin, isn't it better become a manure for the tree? Hello? Huh? So, these possibilities will be opened up in a big way. You see how you can make it. You plan your life in the next 5, 6 years' time. You're in a place where you will grow, where you will live well. Living well does not mean how much bank balance you have, what new model car you're driving. Living well means you're well, physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, you're really well. If you sit here, you're fantastic. This is living well. If we live well like this, there is room for all of us in the world. But if we try to live well, like right now, I'm sorry, I know it's a national spirit. This American dream is a very destructive dream. Because people came here mainly because of the openness and the land, but slowly their American dream got very twisted. I was, because we are going to make this trip, I was just looking up some of the icons in this country, like Elvis Presley. Well, everybody thought they should be like him. Well, he inspired a whole generation into something, whatever that is. But slowly, this dream, what a disastrous dream it becomes for him, how horribly he dies, is really terrible. This dream should not happen to anybody. Well, in more recent times, you've seen other musicians going the same way, American dream, dying most terribly. This should not happen to any human being. So we must… see, after all, it's a dream. We must adjust our dream in such a way that it works for me and you, isn't it? Hello? My dream is death for you. What kind of dream is that? Recently, there was a quote, I think the Daily Mystic quote that comes out, something about Alexander the Great. A lot of people he still has fans. Can you believe it? A man like that is still having fans in the world. They all protested in India. How can he say Alexander the Great idiot? Well, that proves there are still idiots left. My dream should not be death for you. Hello? After all, it's my dream, I can adjust my dream, isn't it? Hello? Maybe I can't adjust my size and shape of my body just like that, but at least my stupid dream I can adjust the way I want. I've said this a few times, but let me say this to you. You heard about that lady, hello? You heard about that lady? You must participate in this dream because you already know this. There was a lady. On a certain day, she had a dream. What she had? A dream. In her dream, she saw a hunk of a man standing there, staring at her. Then he started coming closer and closer and closer. He came so close, she could even feel his breath. What she could feel? Breath. And she trembled, not in fear. And then she asked, "What will you do to me?" The man said, "Well, lady, it's your dream." What the hell you do in your dream is your business. And let your business be good for you and for every other life. Hello? So, your children, I see many young children whom you have trapped and brought, you must listen to Sadhguru. Huh? And if he does quink, quink, you're pinching him, Sadhguru is talking, keep quiet. That's not the way. You build a dream for your children in such a way that this dream works for them and for every other life around them. That's the kind of dream we must have, isn't it? Hello? That's the kind of dream that you must have. Otherwise, it will go somewhere else. Right now you're seeing in California, American dream unfolding itself. Over 2.6 million acres of land has been burnt in the last 2 or 3 months. Whole towns or whole small villages are getting burnt. People thought it's an American dream to build and build and build and build. Well, there are many ways to look at this. One simple thing is, I'm asking you, right now you're here in Tennessee, fantastic land out here. Set fire to this forest, let me see. I'll give you 5 liters of gasoline. Set fire to this forest, can you? No. Well, that's an unfair comparison. There we are in the fringe of a desert, we are here, we are not. All right, that is true, I understand that. Because there were natural cycles of fire and rain there, why has it all gone? One important thing is, because the same phenomena I've noticed in India is the tube wells. I don't know how deep California tube wells are going, but I'm sure they're pretty deep in India, in southern India. These days, a whole lot of them are going 12 to 1400 feet to suck water. Show me one tree which has a root system which is 1400 feet down and it can take its water. You're just sucking out everything with powerful pumps. Everything is dry, just barely alive. Just a little bit of fire, everything is becoming ash. Well, the natural cycle of that part of the terrain is, once in 30, 40, 50 years, there needs to be a cycle of fire that is part of the natural cycles. But not like this, burning up the entire region. This is happening because we've taken too much water out of the land. There's not enough water in the sap of the tree for itself to resist fire. If there was substantial sap in the tree, it wouldn't burn like this, isn't it, like matchsticks? Well, I'm making ecology very simplistic, but fundamentally, that's all it is. There is not enough life in the vegetation, there's not enough water in the vegetation. Why? We are too many. When we are too many, at least we must be a little more sensible how we live. Otherwise, who should live and who should die will become the question, an unfortunate question mark will arise. Who should live and who should die? Right now, such decisions unfortunately are being made in hospitals. Who should get the ventilator? Who should not get the ventilator? These are the most tragic things that should happen to a human being. You went to… your mother was feeling ill, so you took her to the hospital. They also tested you and you're also virus. So they admitted both of you. This happened to so many people, I'm telling you. They just took somebody who was showing symptoms, they went for a test themselves. They're also sick, they were also admitted. Then the unfortunate reality is they have to decide the available one ventilator, who should get it? They decide you should get it, not your mother, because she's old, she can die. Having made such a decision, how do you live after that, I'm asking? Hello? Or if you and your daughter or your son goes, they will decide you should die. The younger person should live. Well, it's a fair decision, but how horrible a decision to make. So this is happening to us on many levels simply because we are not living not only sensitively, we are not even living sensibly. So, please do not come here and say, fix the air conditioner for me in my room. Now we'll open the windows for you. If you want, we'll make automatic windows. If you want to live unaware, temperature-sensitive windows, it'll open and close by itself. Also temperature-sensitive, because putting your arms inside in the jacket and all is difficult. When it's cold, we'll put a sack on you. Hello? You need an arrangement like this. And above all, these machines, say, I want you to just be here for some time and see, not now, we cannot welcome you now, as per the state's protocol. But when I came to United States, first thing I noticed is all the time something is humming. Anywhere you go. When I go back to India, when something is silent, it's like that, chuck, nothing. Do you know what impact it has on your system? You may not notice it because you're always in it. Just some motor is running somewhere all the time. If nothing else, at least the stupid refrigerator is going boom, 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 something. It's doing its own things. Please live in a quiet place, a genuine quiet place. That's what we're trying to create here. Just an absolutely quiet place. When it's quiet, it's quiet. You will see how it'll calm your entire system. This is very important for your physical well-being, for your spiritual well-being, extremely important, and your psychological balance. This is very, very, very important. The world, bodies and the doctors around the world, just now, after this, an hour later, I have a conversation with a doctor from India about the mental pandemic, the fear of mental pandemic that's coming, the fear of suicide pandemic that is evolving in the world. I'm telling you, the amount of reverberations that you're taking into your system on a daily basis has a significant impact on these things. Just come, just live here, just quietly for a month, and you see how everything just settles down, simply because there is no outside unnecessary reverb going on the system. And there are also other things that you don't even feel, which we cannot avoid in terms of Wi-Fi, microwave, this one, that one, so many things are going on. What we cannot avoid, let's leave it. At least everything that we can avoid must go. It's very important. It doesn't matter how you have lived till now, it's important from here on. The virus, the great teacher, has come. You ignored me for so long. Now he's teaching with a stick. I tried to do with carrots, but you are no bunny. So he's teaching you with a stick, at least now get the point. Now both carrot and stick is here. So, let's make it happen. Please, there's one. There was I started on painting something here when I was in the United States last time or before last time when I came, more than a year. I started it off and left it incomplete because when I come here, I'm here only for a day or two and then I'm traveling all over the country, never got around. Thanks to the virus, just yesterday I completed it, so I thought I will torture you a bit. You know, the paintings in India have, I think till now, about $1.5 million I've raised for COVID relief work, just with 2 paintings. So here it is. This is a representation of great time or Mahakala. Just one question. Okay, close. Is there a question?
This question comes from Prasanth in Chennai. Namaskaram Sadhguru. In our culture, many women devotees have looked upon Shiva as their husband. For example, Kara Ikal Amayar, Akama Devi, Punyakshi. But no male devotee has looked upon a female deity in that dimension. Why haven't male devotees looked upon female deities in that angle? Is it right or wrong to look up that way?
Well, you want to marry Bhairavi, you're welcome. This is why we made the female deities so fierce. So fierce, you would only… I know in the closing minutes, if I enter into this dimension, it'll create a lot of confusion. Well, let me sow some confusion and later on some other day we'll clear this. Between the masculine and the feminine, I'm not talking male and female, I'm between the masculine and the feminine. The emotions that spring from what is feminine is always in the form of an offering. The emotions that spring from the dimension that we refer to as masculine, you being a male or a female is nothing to do with this. The emotions that spring from the masculine dimension is always to possess, to conquest. So in that context, approaching the divine as context will be simply waste of time and energy. It has to come in the form of an offering. So that is why women developed a whole tradition, if they are very feminine. Not all women are so absolutely feminine. In today's world, for the sake of survival, they're trying to make themselves more and more masculine because the framework of the world is entirely masculine. Very few spaces left where feminine can be expressed or feminine can find unabashed expression of the feminine is very limited in modern societies. Very, very limited space. Rest is all masculine. I would say, trying to be fair, at least 85% of the world is largely masculine, maybe 10–15% is somewhat feminine. That too, they're guilty of being feminine. Like that, they're feminine. They're not simply feminine. So, the feminine needs to be developed in the world if you want to have a balanced feel to life around you. It's important, feminine should come up at least 50%. So, approaching a masculine energy, approaching the divine as a woman will not really work for their own well-being. Because the feminine emotion, when it becomes subtle, naturally, knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, it becomes an offering. In that context, it works. That is the reason that this has been evolved in that sense, because the idea is to become an offering, not to become a conquest, even there